Smile, breathe, and go slowly. That's a phrase from Thich Nhat Hanh that has made an incredible impact on my life. I even have a tattoo of a labyrinth on my wrist that I got to remind me of that particular mantra. I'm Reverend Jim Keat, the digital minister at the Riverside Church and the director of online innovation at Convergence. And in this video, we're going to spend a little bit of time reflecting on the life and legacy of Thich Nhat Hanh, particularly 3 quotes from him, not the one I just mentioned, and the impact they might have on digital ministry, online church, hybrid worship. I think this incredible prophet who sadly passed away January 22nd, 2022, his entire life is rich with ways to be more human, to be embodied and present. And I think in the rapidly manic world of online content, where there's always another video to watch and make and a podcast to produce and social media to scroll through, there's a lot that I think sometimes an invitation to be embodied is essential. So let's take a little bit of time and talk about a few quotes from this incredible human and the impact they have on the work we're called to do in digital ministry. To be beautiful means to be yourself. You don't need to be accepted by others. You need to accept yourself. I mean, that's a sermon in itself. But I think when it comes to online content, digital ministry, all the things that we're doing, this to me is just another reminder of why authenticity will always be more important than production value. Don't get me wrong, good lighting, a nice camera, a nice microphone, they can all be good things to add to your repertoire, but they're not essential. I mean, I could be filming this video on the phone in my pocket, and as long as I'm being authentic, that's what matters most. People will connect with your authenticity more than they will the production value. And honestly, if you're being inauthentic, the production value can just make it look cool, but it's like just, shiny bells and whistles and toys and no. I love this quote. To be beautiful means to be yourself. You don't need to be accepted by others. You need to accept yourself. Don't try to be someone else. Just be you. That's true in every aspect of life and ministry, but it's especially true in these online spaces. We are here to awaken from our illusion of separateness. That, again, so much depth in each one of these quotes, but in this context of digital ministry, online church, hybrid worship, we're here to awaken from our illusion of separateness. It can be easy, and it's been very easy during these past years of the pandemic, and as it continues in our lives in the future, to feel like we are isolated, alone, because we might have to be distanced, quarantined, all the ways in which we might not be gathering in person, so we're forced to do it online. It can make us feel separate. But I think it's very important to remember that the purpose of this digital ministry work that we do is to provide connectedness. It always exists to connect people with people. The video isn't the point. It's the people who will connect around it and the community that's formed because of it. It's streaming your worship service is great so people can see and hear what you're doing, but what are the ways in which you're allowing people to be connected through that experience? Whether it's, if you're broadcasting live, an intentional live chat engagement, or perhaps a Zoom coffee hour after worship, intentional ways so that people can be connected rather than perpetually separate. I like to think that online content is the campfire. This is one of my son Lauren's old teething toys. We have a new baby coming, so maybe he'll get this one next. But I like to think that online content is the campfire. It's the thing around which we gather. The point isn't the campfire. I mean, you can make a really great campfire. I'm all about the log cabin style of prepping your logs and everything, and a nice little stack of kindling in the middle and having it so it'll just sustain itself. That's good. We need people who think about how to make a campfire so it can function and sustain. But the purpose of the fire, at least I would argue, is for the gathering that happens around it. It's not just so I can stare at it myself. That can be an enjoyable space to reflect, but it's the encounter you have together around that creation. Same is true for online content. Same is true for digital ministry work. We're here to awaken from our illusion of separateness. We are not isolated. We are not alone. Because of these digital things, we have the ability to be connected even when we're physically distant. Many of us have been running all our lives. Practice stopping. I think I picked this one just because I need to be reminded of it again and again and again. Many of us have been running all our lives. Practice stopping. Now, I don't know about you, but the first year of the pandemic, 2020, when this thing really swept up our lives, all of us in churches, we really felt the impact. And, a lot of churches, when I serve included, we went completely online. We had no one in the building. We were recording everything from homes and, just like Saturday Night Live and Jimmy Fallon were recording out of their apartments, that kind of mentality. And it was learning so many new skills for so many of us that we weren't taught in our seminary or faith education or training, but yet we were thrown into the deep end and forced to learn to swim or desperately find someone to hold on to keep afloat. And we did it. I think I hope we can look back on that year as a year of, incredible stress, but also incredible innovation and the ability for ourselves and our communities to try new things. Then the next year came, vaccines were rolled out, 2021, and some communities began gathering in person. Some decided to say, how do we do this hybrid thing? How do we do the stuff we did last year online, but also merge it with in-person stuff? So now we left an exhausting year and entered a year where it was keep doing all the stuff we just learned to do, brand new, and do the stuff we used to do before all this craziness happened, and merge the two together perfectly and seamlessly with no budget and limited technology. Yeah, that's the year we just survived. We've been running all our lives, but especially these past years. I really hope that this year, 2022, is a year where we practice stopping, perhaps. What are the things that you will choose not to do? To-do lists can be endless. I have how many note cards sitting right here as a to-do list? What about our stop doing lists? The things you're going to say, nope, done with that. Or when your life is filled with to-do lists, things to get done, new content to create, new meetings to coordinate, Zoom, everything, it can feel like you are just, maybe this is cliche, but come on, go with me here. It can feel like you're a human doing, but you're a human being. I hope that 2022, in all the digital ministry work you're doing, and all the online church and hybrid worship that you're doing, that this is a year where you can practice stopping. I mean, it's January still. Is it still January? Yeah, end of January. Maybe you're watching this in February. Lent is coming in early March 2022. Maybe in Lent you are intentional about giving something up. Not so much of the whole giving up chocolate as a reminder to pray, spirituality, but give up something, stop something, pause something that's been just pressing down your humanity vocationally. What could your community pause for the sake of your shared humanity? What do you need to just consider? I mean, this is kind of ironic given that my last video was on 22 digital ministry ideas to try in 2022. Now I'm telling you to stop. That's the tension. That is the tension I think we will perpetually find ourselves in, and one that we need to take seriously. But this invitation from this great teacher, many of us have been running all our lives. Practice stopping. Keyword practice. You won't get it right the first time. Practice stopping. So there you have it. A simple way to reflect on just a few tips of the wealth of wisdom and rich teachings that Thich Nhat Hanh offered so many of us in our world. I hope that if you've never heard these quotes or heard of Thich Nhat Hanh, this is an invitation for you to explore a bit deeper. A Buddhist monk who personally has had a huge impact on my own life and spirituality. And as I reflect on these quotes, my approach to digital ministry, and I hope he can offer the same to you. Leave a comment below with any other quotes, reflections of Thich Nhat Hanh's life and his legacy that have impacted your life and your ministry, or just leave a comment below with any thoughts or questions or responses to the things we've talked about so far here. All right, well, with all that said, don't forget to smile, breathe, and go slowly. I'll talk to you again next week.